So in this video, we're going to watch one of Kevin Joe Powell's YouTube videos on his channel called Med School Insiders. I'll put a link up here. He's got a massive following. He's got over 1 million people watching these videos. And in this one, he does, well, we'll find out if Mo thinks it's a good job, talking about what it's like to become a neurosurgeon. This is Mohammed.
This is Andy.
This is the Neurosurgeons channel.
And this is the only place where you find two neurosurgeons talking to you about everything about the brain and spine.
So this video is called So You Want to Be a Neurosurgeon. This is the 6th episode of Med School Insiders. Definitely go check it out. They're really informative. And I'm going to find out if Mo agrees with Kevin Joe Powell what he's put in this video. Cool?
Good. Let's go.
Let's debunk the public perception myths of what it means to be a neurosurgeon and give it to you straight. This is the reality of neurosurgery. Dr. Jabal, MedSchoolInsiders.com. Welcome to our next installment in So You Want to Be. In this series, we highlight a specific specialty within medicine, such as neurosurgery, and help you decide if it's a good fit for you. You can find the other specialties on our...
So I'm just going to stop and say something that has nothing to do with reacting to the video, except I hope one day we make videos like this. So it's really well edited and like everything's really good about it. So that's just a shout out to the person who made it. Agree?
I agree, yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Our So You Want to Be playlist. A lot of you asked for neurosurgery in our poll, so that's what we're covering here. If you want to vote in upcoming polls to decide what future specialties we cover, make sure you're subscribed. If you'd like to see what being a neurosurgeon looks like, check out my second channel, Kevin Jabal MD, where I do a second series in parallel called A Day in the Life. We'll be doing a day in the life of a neurosurgeon soon, and you don't want to miss it. Neurological surgery, or neurosurgery for short, is much more than just brain surgery. The nervous system is comprised of two main components, the central nervous system, or CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, or PNS. Try saying that one 5 times as fast as you can. The CNS includes the brain and spinal cord, whereas the PNS includes all other nerves within the body. Neurosurgery deals with surgical interventions of both. There are 2 overarching categories to neurosurgery: elective surgery and emergent surgery. Elective surgeries take place on a non-emergent basis and generally involve treating conditions that are not immediately life-threatening. They tend to fall into one of 3 categories: cranial surgery, spine surgery, and peripheral nerve surgery. Cranial surgery, as it sounds, involves operating on...
I think a lot of that's changed now, isn't it? Because since COVID, it's not very much elective.
Yeah, it's more almost like urgent or emergency cases. But what's interesting here is that a lot of people think that neurosurgery is all about the brain. And I've had a lot of people, even from close family, that they think that I'm just operating on the brain. But actually it includes the spine as well, and the peripheral nerves, or the nerves in the body. Not every neurosurgeon will be doing everything, and each neurosurgeon will be specializing in a specific part. Could be the brain, could be the spine, or could be a bit of this and a bit of that. But it's not just the orthopedic surgeons who deal with the spine, it's mainly neurosurgeons most of the time.
Yeah.
Orthopedic surgeons wouldn't like that, but...
structures within the head, such as the brain. This category can be further subdivided into a few more subcategories: tumor surgery, vascular surgery, and functional neurosurgery. Tumors in the brain come in all shapes and sizes. They can be benign or malignant, slow or fast-growing, life-threatening or not. Some tumors can be observed without ever needing treatment, while others can be treated with radiation. But often, given the limited space afforded by the human skull and the sensitive nature of the brain's tissues, a neurosurgeon is called upon to surgically resect a tumor in the brain. Vascular neurosurgery involves treating abnormalities.
So, as said here, dealing with the brain tumors is a big part of neurosurgeons' practice. I don't like it, to be honest. People think, the neurosurgeons are limited in terms of dealing with the tumors. We can resect tumors out of the brain, but we can't do anything with the disease itself. So I don't like it because the disease itself is a bad one.
Yeah. And
if it's an aggressive or malignant tumor, we do have little to do with that. Because if it's growing very quickly, then it will do quick harm to the patient.
there is the other side of that. There are the slower growing benign tumours that I find very rewarding to take because people could be cured. So there's kind of, you know, you can already see in this video that we have different opinions about brain tumours, and every patient's brain tumour is different. That's what I say to patients. So although they've clumped it in this video because it's a short video, it's a big topic. Yeah,
and as mentioned here, dealing with the brain tumours, if it's a benign one, so we can take it out, as Ali said, and cure it. While if it's malignant ones, our rule as neurosurgeons is two things mainly. To take as much as we can from this tumour so that it helps the patient and to reduce the amount of the tumour in the brain, which can help with further treatment, including radiation to the brain or chemotherapy. Or the second aim is usually to get sample out of this tumour, which can be analysed, and that will help with further treatment.
In blood vessels of the brain. Neurosurgeons might treat an aneurysm on a vessel or bypass a blockage or narrowing of a vessel, much the same way you would do coronary bypass on the heart. Functional neurosurgery is the sexy stuff, the science fiction of the field.
I know what you're going to say, so I'm going to say as well about what he just said. You said.
What was it?
It was that we bypass blockages.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do, well, I don't do it often. Not many neurosurgeons do bypass vascular surgery on the brain. It's super specialized, though people do it. It's not that common.
Yeah. I thought he might be talking as well about stroke, kind of dealing with a stroke, so taking a blood clot out of the brain, which is not essentially part of the neurosurgeon's practice. It includes also the radiologists who put a stent inside the brain and take it out, take the blood clot out. But we deal with a variety of things as vascular neurosurgeons, including malformations in the brain, like vascular malformations, which is abnormality in the blood vessels of the brain, or aneurysms, which is like balloon-like structures, abnormality within the wall of the blood vessels, which if it ruptures, it causes bleed in the brain, so we can cure that within the vascular neurosurgery subspecialty. How many operations as bypass operations that we're talking about in the brain you think the neurosurgeons in the UK have done or do every year?
Well, like the top of my head, I can think of 2 neurosurgeons that I know in the country that do like 7 or 8 each, like 20, 40, something like that.
I came across one neurosurgeon in China and he did more than 10,000 bypass operations.
That's more operations than some people will do. So 10,000 of that is amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy numbers.
In functional neurosurgery, the brain is viewed as one large, complicated electrical circuit, and neurosurgeons try to modulate the circuit to bring about a desired outcome. This might involve placing electrodes within the brain to stimulate certain structures, or creating lesions with radiation, ultrasonic energy, or simple thermal ablation to effectively turn off structures that might be causing problems for a patient. Within spine surgery, there are a few subcategories as well. We'll call them degenerative, scoliosis, and tumors.
So we do that functional surgery. It's probably one of the most rewarding things that we do in surgery. I don't do it, but it's done in Glasgow. And he mentioned like lesioning or stimulating, and that's really helpful for people with Parkinson's disease. So some people with Parkinson's disease can get a real boost in their quality of life if they're the right type of patient. There's a big process to get to an operation, but I've seen some people have a much better life after having functional neurosurgery.
That also helps with patient having tremors, so that it can help to reduce the tremors in their body. If you are kind of tech savvy, or following what Elon Musk is doing, like implanting brain electrodes or things like that, so that's not new, to be honest. It has been done for years. And this is just one level upgrade of what's being done already, and it's part of the functional neurosurgery category.
Though he still doesn't really know what he's doing. Like a lot of what he's saying is rubbish. Just put my comment out there.
The vast majority of spine surgery is done to treat good old-fashioned wear and tear or degenerative disease of the spine. Within these degenerative processes, the spinal cord itself, or nerve roots exiting the spine, can become compressed, leading to pain and weakness. surgeons often are required to decompress these structures by removing certain elements of the spine. When removing these bony arthritic spurs or degenerated discs, the integrity of the spine can become compromised, which can require a spinal fusion to restore stability, although the fused segment has increased rigidity. Spine surgery also includes repair of scoliosis, whereby curvature of the spine can become so severe as to cause pain, difficulty breathing, or other functional deficits. It's important to note that spinal decompression surgeries and scoliosis repair can be performed by either neurosurgeons or orthopedic surgeons. However, removal of tumors of the spinal cord is performed exclusively by neurosurgeons. While a tumor in the liver or breast can be relatively quickly resected, removing tumors around the spine can be quite involved and take a long time, even for small tumors, due to the care and precision required to leave the spinal cord uninjured. Peripheral neurosurgery, as the name suggests, involves operating on the peripheral nervous system. This includes all nerves outside of the brain and...
So spine surgery represents a big part of the neurosurgeon's practice. I would say probably 80%.
Yeah, maybe. 3/4 I was going to guess. Yeah, about that.
Maybe a bit more. And we have done a lot of videos before. You can check our playlist here or there, I don't know, about the back pain and the treatments that can be offered for back pain. I like a lot of the operating on tumors on the spine. It's very interesting operations, and in a lot of the patients they can be cured with these kind of operations. It requires a lot of precision because we're dealing with spinal cord, and any injury to that can cause weakness or complete paralysis of the arms and legs. So it needs to be very delicate and very precise. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I liked the big cross against the orthopedic surgeon taking a tumor out of someone's spine, sorry. Yeah, that was good. I won't say anything more.
Spinal cord. These nerves can sprout tumors or become injured in an accident. In such cases, a neurosurgeon may be called upon to remove that tumor, to reconnect severed nerves, or in some cases, to connect part of a healthy and working nerve to a damaged nerve in the hopes that a patient can regain function of that nerve over time. Now, if you're a trauma surgeon, you take shifts and handle traumas that come in on your shift. If you're a neurosurgeon, you have to operate on your schedule.
So, I think we're going to say the same thing again. How many times have you done a nerve repair or nerve transposition?
Very, very little, to be honest. I used to do it more back in Egypt than here in the UK. Not sure, is it more plastic surgeons, isn't it? Or...
I think it depends on like which part of the body, but I know our colleagues here in Glasgow, the Max Fast guys do it for facial injuries. That's like 1 or 2 times I've done it, and sometimes I cut to the face or stitch nerves back together. But I guess if it's in leg, you might be asking plastics or someone else to help you. But I haven't really done very much nerve repair surgery outside of the brain and spine.
Yeah, neurosurgeons in the US, I believe, is kind of more involved in peripheral nerve surgery more than the UK. I'm not sure about the rest of the world. Well, let us know in the comments if you know anything about it.
Yeah.
Cases, but also take neurosurgery trauma call on top. It's just part of the job. Compared to other parts of the body, the skull is a fixed space, which results in its own set of issues. If you bleed into your abdomen, you're concerned about exsanguination, meaning you can bleed out and die as your abdomen can distend to accommodate a large volume of blood. In the cranium, however, a fixed space means that as you bleed, pressure increases, resulting in compression of the brain. You won't ever exsanguinate as the skull is too small, but brain bleeds are deadly due to brain herniation, meaning compression and pushing of critical structures through the foramen magnum outside the skull. Alleviating pressure is key, and this is done with a decompressive hemicraniectomy, meaning removing part of the skull to create space for the brain to swell after.
So he makes a good point. Like, I almost forget that some specialties don't deal with emergencies.
Yeah.
Because it's so ingrained in what we do. I guess I think it's more about 50-50, or it used to be before COVID, 50-50, like emergency and planned stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, emergency work in neurosurgery is just commonplace because of people getting sick or having accidents.
Yeah, and that as mentioned before, it includes the brain or includes the spine. Anything of that might need to be done as on urgent basis to save the nerves or to save the brain from a bleeding or injury. And our aim here is to minimize the sequelae that can happen from this injury or this trauma, and hopefully provide the patient with the best chances of recovery and have a good prognosis from that injury.
So that was the intro to So You Want to Be a Neurosurgeon on Med School Insiders. I think it's a really good video. Like I said at the beginning, like the editing's great and like the animation's really good. What do you think of the content, Mo?
It's very nice because it gives an overview for everyone who don't know anything about the neurosurgery practice. So now you know what the neurosurgeons do and what are the subspecialties that we work on. Hopefully later on we can do much more detailed videos about each subspecialty and what are the most common conditions that we deal with and how it looks like to be a neurosurgeon dealing with these conditions.
So I hope you enjoyed that video. I apologise to any orthopaedic surgeons I have offended. If you liked the video, please comment below, subscribe, share it with people you think might enjoy it. A big shout out to Med School Insiders. Excellent video. We hope to be able to make the same one day, and we'll see you in the next video.